Welcome to Let's Chat with Disco George. My people, today I am bringing you one of West Miami's gems. I've been going there for years. Oh my God, they've been around since 2004. And if you want to be happy, you got to go to Happy Wines, located at 5792 Southwest 8th Street. Yes, right in the heart of the city of West Miami. I'm telling you, you better look it up. This is your homework today. You have to go to Happy Wines. And today I have the owner, JC Restrepo, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the place. JC, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. I'm so happy to finally have you here. I've been wanting to have you for a while, but life, we're so busy. Things happen. But you know what? The important thing is that you are here today.
Indeed.
So let's talk about your beautiful location. One of the things that I really love about Happy Wines is the ambiance that you've created.
That's the whole point. We created a local joint, a local neighborhood place that you can come down, chill, relax, that you just can drop the guard. You're going to have a wonderful experience, a homey place.
Excellent. And the beauty of it is if you have all those wines everywhere. It's like, let's call it heaven, because you have a little bit of everything. You have the red wines, champagne, the Proseccos. Tell us a little bit about your inventory that you stock.
Well, we started with a very small wine shop. We come from nothing. We're two Colombian immigrants that start to work with this. We always thought about to have a little dream, a little something. So we opened a wine shop, and then we start to think, it'd be nice to have a little piece of manchego cheese, a little jamon. So no tables, no money, no PR, no investors. Somebody gave us a couple of barrels, and we start to serve food. And times went by, things grow, and with the help of my wife, which is
Joanna.
She's the secret weapon.
The secret sauce. The secret sauce.
Joanna.
Yeah.
So we created that. And me, I love to have wines from all over the world. Of course, we have wines from mainstream, but we're trying to specialize in wines that you cannot find anywhere, and the price that you can drink it. No one, 2 bottles of wine with some fantastic food. And that's where we became. Last year, we became the top 25 restaurants by the New York Times.
Wow.
Local restaurants owned. So West Miami share actually 2 places. And I have to say, it's very, very, I think the West Miami should be very proud that because we are happy Wine Calle Ocho and El Mago de las Fritas too.
Oh, wow. Yes, of course.
It's my neighbor. So I love neighbors makes the essence, that's like West Miami, like the little town USA, has all these beautiful things.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because there's also a little gem on 57 that I go to for a little Italian food. I don't know if you've been there, Certo's.
Exactly. Another hardworking person doing his thing. Absolutely.
And what I love about it is that our little city of West Miami, I call it a gem, and it really is, because we're right next to Coral Gables. But we still have the Latin flavor, and it's a city that, was practically built for veterans, back in, oh my God, I don't even know what when they started it, but it's such a beautiful community, and you have made it even more beautiful.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you, because your wife's customer service is always 100%. Every time I walk in.
And my team. Very important. My team, we've been, most of all our employees, they're average from 3 to 15, 17 years.
Wow.
And that speaks volume, because if I don't have a team, we are nothing.
Speaking of your staff, Wilbur, is Wilbur here?
Wilbur, yes, there he is.
Wilbur, come in a second. You know, we can't continue this with having a little vino.
Yeah, I'm getting thirsty over here.
I'm getting thirsty myself. So do what you do, my friend. What are we drinking today?
We're doing Twins. It's a great wine from California, very small production, probably around 1,000 cases. And we're proud to say that we serve this by the glass. We have a connection with this winery, kind of boutique in a way that, but they make wine. I don't know if they make money, but the wine is excellent. And there we go. Ooh.
Oh, this is delicious.
There we go.
I think I have a new favorite wine.
There we go.
And if you don't mind me asking, how much does a bottle like this go for? If you want to buy it and take it home.
Less than $40.
Less than $40.
Yes.
Let me ask you, I know on Tuesdays you have wine tastings.
We do.
So tell us a little bit about the wine tastings.
Our wine tastings has been for almost 3 years already. Every Tuesday we have a free wine tasting.
Wow, free completely.
Free completely. Yes. Wow. Actually, we used to have a sponsor.
Let's cheers to free.
Free is a good word, no?
Absolutely.
So,
and what's going on Wednesdays?
Wednesdays we have our big burger that we have in our menu, half off. 50% off, come with fries. I love the cheese that we use. It's called the vampire cheese.
Oh, wow.
Because it's sharp cheddar with onions inside.
I wish it was Wednesday.
Okay. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
And we have flamenco night tonight. We have
actually, today's Friday.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Te mordió un vampiro.
Dos vampiros.
Ay, Dios mío.
Okay, Friday we have...
Let's blame it on the vino. Let's blame it on the vino.
Oh, my God. So today we have our live music. Of course, we have our daily lunch specials. We have the bowls, the chicken, the salmon. And then we have...
Well, I think we have pictures of the... I think we have a... Let's see the picture of the salmon if it's available. Tell us about the salmon.
Very simple, very inspired in freshness. And
you just grill it? How do you prepare that?
Actually, it's something a little more to talk about that because we got from Spain, from Barcelona, we have a special oven called Jasper. Guys, look at it. Go in the internet. It's a charcoal oven, but inside it's a grill. So the flavors are intense.
Oh, wow.
And it's still
and that looks
the food,
extremely healthy.
Yeah.
So si estamos en dieta, it's perfect.
That's perfect.
It's perfect.
For the people in the
in dieta.
Me, I'm not. I don't believe in that. Okay.
I'll eat half of that and half a steak, maybe.
I got my 401k right here.
There we go. If we could see the steak, please. Tell us about the steak.
The steak, we use just prime beef, 16 ounces, also on the grill with some home potatoes. Simple.
So simple.
Steak and potatoes.
Yep.
Who doesn't like that?
Who doesn't? I always order that. When I always go, I always order that.
There we go.
Yeah. So Sundays for the VIPs, lo que tienen billete,
no, actually,
lobsters.
Actually, it's not that.
No, it's actually very good.
It's $39.
$39.
Twin lobsters, nice size, with some fresh cut home potatoes. It's becoming staple for a lot of our neighbors around. So,
do you have to make reservations, or you just walk in?
Just walk in, but I recommend you in the evening. Please make reservation an open table.
Okay.
Or just call us. You know, we don't have answering machines. We picked up the phone.
You actually have somebody.
We have somebody.
Wow.
Or me or my wife, but it's always going to be a human voice behind the phone.
Excellent. Can you bring Wilbur back? We have
ven acá. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I know you brought us a nice little surprise to taste here. So what exactly is this?
These are actually one of our, I don't know, called I'm gonna call
Charcuterie?
it
Is that a charcuterie?
I call it wine lovers heaven.
There we go. Wow.
Because who doesn't like cheese? Who doesn't like cheese? Some right here we have manchego. We have a rulo de cabra, which is amazing.
A couple
you can help me
olives.
over here. I don't want to. I don't want, I'm clumsy.
Got it.
I'm
There
very
we go.
clumsy. So we have some jamón serrano, manchego, chorizo cantimpalo. I love this one, rulo de cabra, which is a goat cheese, aged 6 months. We have right here Mahon Menorca from the Balearic Islands. My favorite, people come for this, raisins, golden raisins soaked in Pedro Jimenez Jerez. Okay, our manzanilla olives and our homemade marmalade that Lola, our famous Lola, makes for us.
Wow.
Okay?
That looks delicious. I'm going to have to try a little
Please
bit.
do. Please do.
Let me try the... This was este es el... ¿cómo es?
Cantimpalo.
El
Chorizo cantimpalo.
Let me put this here so I don't drop it. Qué rico.
You got that with a little piece of, there we go, this mahon. And then you take a sip of wine. You're in heaven.
I'm in heaven.
There we go.
So tell us a little bit more about heaven, because I brought you here so you could tell us exactly the experience you've told us about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, anything else that has magic besides your beautiful wife, of course, about your location.
Well, no one will expect to walk in through the back door of Calle Ocho.
Where's the park? Which is where the parking is.
Yes, the parking in the back. Walk, open the door, and see walls full of wine with a very rustic shelves, graffiti all over the place, with some fantastic food, and the most important thing, the energy of the vibe that we want to bring to our customers. And that's why we have such a loyal following, because these days we need to keep up working hard to keep these local hiding gems stay alive in Miami.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny that you say followers. When the city had the state of the city, the person that got the most applause was you.
I think it was the mayor.
You think it was the mayor?
I think it was the mayor.
Well, I think we have a picture of you getting a picture from the mayor.
Uh-huh.
And how did that feel for you receiving a picture? I mean, not a picture. Did he give you a picture too of him? Yeah. No, the actual award. Well, how did that feel for you and your wife?
Wow, that's a fantastic question. Coming many centuries ago, coming to the States, come with nothing and start to work and always dream to have something meaningful and to be recognized with such a wonderful and big award.
Yeah.
Words, I mean, I can't even express, because it's hard to express the feeling and the emotion that we recognize, and to feel like this country, hard work pays, nothing is easy, but between my wife and I, the hard work and passion and dedication, we've been recognized as like a
Well, thank you. And we love you. The whole city loves you. And I have a surprise guest for the people that don't know, but we have the mayor here.
Nah.
Yes. So
Yeah?
the mayor is here.
look at
So
that.
he's going to talk a little bit about what's going on.
Don't say nothing. You know what I mean? Don't tell him nothing. What I said to you. Okay?
No, nothing. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Eric.
Sorry, my friend.
Choose.
Thank you for having me.
My friend, it's a pleasure having you. It's been more than 2 years since you were last here. Can you, well, at least on my show, because
Yeah.
I know you've been back, but I appreciate you taking time out of your day and coming. And I appreciate everything that you've done for the city. You and your team have been fantastic. You know, when I first met you, there was a couple issues that were going on in the city, and you and your team have tackled it straight on, and you've gone above and beyond. So I really thank you and your whole staff for everything that you do for the whole city. And that award that you gave JC was fantastic. It was well earned. I really appreciate that the city recognizes fantastic people that are there, you know, Colombians, you know, de todo, everything that's succeeding in the little city of West Miami, which is growing bigger every day.
Well, I'll say, you know, my good friend JC and his wife Joanna, but I was a little jealous because at the state of the city, you got a bigger applause than I did. At any point,
Yeah, I was in line.
Jealous. No, it was amazing. I had been talking to JC about giving him a key, which we do very selectively in the city. We don't give keys out often, and you know, one thing that was very important for me was to not just give a key, but to have it at a place where a lot of neighbors and people who go to a Happy Wine a lot could actually see the recognition. So we had talked about maybe doing an event at Happy Wine, but ultimately when the state of the city came by, I said, we got 400 residents, and this is a community-focused, you know, restaurant and wine shop. So many of the people at the state of the city were customers of JC. JC knew half the room, so I thought it was very appropriate to do it there, and I think it came out just beautiful.
Yeah, the state of the city was a fantastic event. It's that Renaissance, perfect location for it. Another great location that if you need, you know, to do an event, it's a great location. It's safe. And talk a little bit about the city, the way it's grown, and how it's actually turned into like a little, like I said earlier, like a little gem for restaurants that are popping up here and there. Talk about the impact of not just the community, but of the people that are going there to start businesses.
Yeah, so Happy Wine is actually sort of the model of what we want to do, right? And it's not easy to bring in, but there was a time period in the city when city leadership was on the fence about bringing in chain restaurants. They wanted more Applebee's and Chili's and things, and I kind of fought a little back on that because I don't think that's the way that our city should be heading. Our city should be heading to attract and support, you know, these small operations that are mom and pop, that are authentic, that are community driven. Happy Wine is the model of that. I mean, I'm a customer a lot. I live very, very close to it, and I'll tell you the authenticity there from obviously JC and Joanna, but the staff as well. Everybody knows her name. It's kind of like that show. I'm not old enough for that show, but
it might be called Cheers.
Might be called Cheers, yeah. So you know, and all you got to do is go to the social media, and you'll see how you know enthusiastic the staff are there, and how much fun they're having, and that's infectious. It goes into the environment. It feeds into the customers, and it's really you know, even if the environment was bad, I would probably still go because the food is great. But the beautiful thing is that you got both, and that's the model we're trying to bring. And you mentioned some other restaurants, Certo, you know, Mago de las Fritas, and these are the type of places we're trying to bring up and support, because that's what our community wants. That's what's going to keep our community, you know, together. That's what's going to keep our community, you know, different from other communities. And on that note, what we're trying to do is basically take that same model that you've developed at your restaurant and your wine shop, and apply that to kind of the whole city and how we view the city. We view it as a community-focused, resident-driven, you know, a place where people have are friendly, they know your name, and we're applying that across our park system, across different departments, and just trying to make sure that that's sort of the Happy Wine model is trying to be our model.
Well, it's funny that you say the parks because recently you had an event at the park with some salsa music, and the events have actually been expanding lately. Can you talk a little bit about the events that you're bringing to the parks?
Yeah, so we've done Salsa Under the Stars, we've done Jazz Under the Stars at Cooper Park. Obviously, we have our events like July 4th that's coming up, our fireworks show and event for the families. We actually have for the first time coming up at the end of the month, we have a first farmers market at Cooper Park.
Oh, wow.
Coming up, which has been very asked for by residents. So we're finally delivering on that. I think we found a good partner. We're piloting on that. And no, we just have a lot of activity going on. But on top of that, I made a commitment to the state of the city 2 years ago, and I made it again this year. It's basically very simple. I wanted to expand usable green space by 50%. And everyone in administration was a little bit skeptical about that, but we're delivering on that goal. We're closing streets, turning them into linear parks. We're improving unusable green spaces into green spaces that are usable. We just signed an agreement that just passed with the school board to allow us to use the fields and the court and parking at Sylvania Elementary, which is a big space, and turn it basically into a park when there's no school, which was how it was when I was a kid growing up in the city. I used to use that field all the time.
Yeah, back in the day, everybody would go back to the school and use the yard.
Yeah, so we're reverting back to that time. We're to be able to make improvements for the students there, but also have more usable recreational green space for our residents and families.
Is there anything new that's going on besides that at the city?
Yeah, there's a whole lot
that you could tell us.
Look, we are when I first took over as mayor, I wanted to make the city more efficient. I wanted to make the city safer. It was always been a safe city, but always, take that an extra step, make sure our police had all the resources and tools to do their jobs most effectively. Now we're heading into a new phase where we're making the city cleaner, and that's where we got the trash bins, which sounds, doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's a big deal because
it is a big deal.
It used to be that the
you can
people
see that.
They would put the trash on the side of the street in bags, and now they're all in these beautiful, I think well-colored canisters, and it's uniform and it's nice. Now we're going to the next phase where we're trying to make the city beautiful, right? And I don't mean the city beautiful like Coral Gables, but in our own way.
Yeah, we're not stealing their logo.
Yeah, and so we've started that with the Arts and Public Places program. We started with our first sculpture that came through a sister city agreement with the city of Hialeah. So I think
I love that sculpture right there by the
recreation center.
The rec center. It's beautiful.
And we're going to continue putting public art around the city. We're going to continue improving and creating these linear parks and improving these green spaces. Improve the landscaping in all parts of the city. And every corner of the city. And I think that's going to not only drive property value, but just drive that kind of that same community feel that you get in Happy Wine. Yeah.
Community. That's where you feel it with the park that is gorgeous. Well, you can see that. You can see it, the transformation over the years. You see everything now, even I love the fact that the city now is 30 miles speed limit, so everybody
25.
keep 25. So sorry. Oops.
You better not go 5 over.
Oh yes. Oh no. That's an amazing what they're doing.
Yeah, and you've put in some speed bumps, which have
we're putting the speed pavers, so they're more aesthetic.
Yeah.
But no, listen, we're again, everything is resident driven. Just listening. That all came from just knocking on doors during my campaign, and I heard what people were saying. They were saying the streets are a highway. How do you stop it from being a highway? You put physical barriers, but everything is community driven. And I want to say something about Happy Wine again. We talked about the events of the park, like jazz in the park.
Right.
One of our great sponsors in that event was Happy Wine, which was a beautiful event because they brought wine and cheese boards, and you had in this park this beautiful jazz musicians and a great time. And then it was supplemented by a community restaurant and wine shop that everybody knew, and of course their staff was there as well. And
well, farmer market, people get thirsty, so I think you should be there for a little vino, maybe.
Absolutely, we're
ready.
You're ready. I like this guy. I love this guy.
I love the vino, so cheers to that.
No, for sure. Let's, as a matter of fact, let's cheers all three of us.
To West Miami.
Grab it from.
Here we go. This one's for you.
There we go.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Salud.
Salud. To West Miami.
You know, there was a time when I first got on the commission in West Miami where people would have questioned whether I was allowed to drink, but it's been a few years now. And
one little sip is not
no, I was 23 when I first came.
Oh
in.
my God!
So it was not super obvious that that I was legally allowed to drink.
And we got to give a shout out to your dad. That was one of the mayors before.
In the late 90s, early 2000s, he was a mayor there. I was born in the city because of that, and
I'm sure you got some inspiration from that, right?
Yeah, you know what? There's a special pride that you have, and I don't mean to say this in support of you know, fathers and sons being mayor of the city, but I mean it was a 20-something year gap in between, so it wasn't like there was any real. But there's a special pride you have where you know the work that your dad did in the city. You know how much pride he had in being mayor of the city, and you, aside from you not wanting to do a bad job and fail, you also don't want to fail his legacy and things that he was proud of. So there's definitely a special pride that not only comes from being a resident and not only comes from being born in the city and growing up there, but also that extra.
And you live in the city.
Well, of course. Well, yeah.
So we've seen some things of some other politicians that don't even live in the city that they represent, but that's a totally different thing. But thank you again for coming, and you, of course, thank you again
for having me.
Please tell Joanna that I missed her. But she always has a chair here available. So if you have something new you want to bring, un sándwich de pollo or anything you want to bring, let me know. Send her down.
One phone call away. That's it.
Excellent. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you watching the show today. And if you like the show, please give us a like. And if you really liked it, please share it with all your friends.